There's a classic expression, I'm pretty sure it's still in probably pretty regular use between parents of every generation, that if you keep making that face, it's going to stay like that, or it's going to get stuck like that. And as someone who naturally has kind of a spastic facial contortion thing going on in terms of ways I tend to express myself, when I was a kid, of course, I would do weird things with my face. I'd hear this all the time. And of course, that's not really how faces work. It's one of these lies adults tell children, unfortunately, to manipulate them into behaving or whatever. But where it does kind of apply is in your attitude towards things, in your mood, and how you present your personality in reaction to things around you. And we'll put a little asterisk next to that and explain that in a moment. But again, so unlike facial features, which are going to basically pop right back into place, if you constantly are acting bitter about things, acting angry about things, acting frustrating about things, that will stay like that. It'll sort of cement itself in place. And both from a series of habit of it becoming our default, but also because the world tends to mirror back to us what we're presenting to it. And if we're acting bitter and jaded and frustrated about things, people who want nothing to do with that are going to leave that alone. People who want to echo chamber that are going to hang out around that, cling to that. But the same is also true for if you kind of go out of your way to steer slightly towards, at least, seeming a little more outgoing about positive things, the possibilities in the future you're working towards. Again, like we talked about the other day with enthusiasm, there's a choice there of how we present ourselves, and much like a face may stick, or at least we tell people this, the attitude really may. Because, again, reinforces itself from the factors around us. Now, the reason I put a little asterisk next to the personality thing, I think there's an important distinction here. Because I remember a long time ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago, I was trying to explain this sort of idea to somebody, and her concern was, does it seem dishonest? Like, are you not presenting your true self somehow if you make a point to wear, like we might have face, a certain attitude, as opposed to, you know, well, am I just naturally angry, sad, emo, whatever it might be? And I don't think so. And the reason I think the important distinction here is between personality and character. Personality is surface level. It's superficial. Personality is the way we, again, it's kind of our attitude. It's kind of our outward, voice. We think of someone on a stage might put on a different personality. Someone around a group of children may have a different personality they present than if they're around a series of their bosses and supervisors in a workplace. Personality is something that we can change like an outfit. It's something that is fluid, and what's important is character. Character is what doesn't change, right? Character is our values, our principles, values, things we stand for. Character can be what we'll stand up for, what we will, not let down on if it's an important point. Character affects the kinds of decisions that we make, but the personality stuff is just this veneer. It's a surface level presentation, and because the character is so much more important, so much more central, so much more unchanging and unchangeable, hopefully, than the personality, it might even be worth kind of asking between the two, is the personality serving the mission of your character? If your character, for example, is in line with you want to help people, you want to be fair to people, you want to try to improve circumstances or opportunities for others, let's say those are things consistent with your character, well, then we can ask, because your personality is more malleable than your character, is your personality in a way that is optimally serving those goals? Are you wearing the right attitude in different circumstances in the service of those objectives? Because I'll tell you that, again, even if in all those are positive things, I think a lot of people get behind it. They want to help people. They want to do good. They want to be fair. They want to have these positive benefits to people around them. If the personality that we wear by default, who knows who we picked it up off of, who knows why we started, who knows whatever it is that's sort of behind it, is negative, destructive, hateful, bitter, jaded, you name it, it's counterproductive to those goals, because the kind of people who need help often need someone who they feel is more patient, more welcoming, more open, more positive, more supportive, more any number of things that they're going to read into as signals of our personality we present as to what assumptions they're going to make about our character. And so again, between the two, character is important. Keep that. That's you. That's who you are. That part does not change so easily. That part mixture obviously of our upbringing, the reading influences we've had in our lives, the decisions that we make about what's important to us in our life path, as opposed to the personality, like I say, it's something that we can change like an outfit, like a face that we make, and to an extent, make sure it's in service of it. Because what's going to wind up happening is you keep making that attitude, if you keep presenting that destructive, counterproductive personality, it only gets harder to dig your way back out of there. And you always can. You're not stuck. But it takes more struggle to spin back up, to get free, to pull away from that momentum if you've kind of built an identity around being abrasive, being a jerk, being unfriendly to others, being unkind, being unwelcoming, being impatient with beginners, whatever it is you might think of, those are things that once we begin to solidify an identity around, again, what happens is people around us echo that back to us. The kind of people who are supportive and tolerant of that are the only people we wind up with left in our life, and it gets harder to shift back from there to a place where we're going to feel better, be happier, and maybe more importantly also, again, be able to better serve those objectives consistent with our character. That's the thought for the day. Thanks as always tuning in. Have another video for tomorrow.